All right, so let us begin with the first session of the day. The topic is about the emotional intelligence, which is again mentioned in the syllabus clearly, emotional intelligence. Okay, and today we will be covering this one. All right, emotional intelligence, concepts, utilities, and application. All right, now let us begin. All right. So first of all, what is emotional intelligence? Can anyone tell me here what is emotional intelligence? Ella, try to tell me.
Ma'am, it's an ability for ourselves to recognize our emotions, then understand it, and then we can choose our way of actions based on our understanding of our emotions.
That's really impressive. Good. You have covered almost things in that, so that's perfect. Okay. And also one thing, for example, like no, suppose this is a definition. Okay, you need not to change your definition every time. Just fix one definition forever. Like whenever you would be writing ethics or any of your tests, just write that single definition every time. Why? Because if you are writing your 10 test on the emotional intelligence, so by every time just writing one definition will print the definition in your mind, and with this you would be able to complete your topics easily. Okay, you need not to like no just read each and everything, or you can skip it. Just have this definition or this. Okay, both are good, but I prefer this one is more sensible. Okay, so just let us understand what it is. So emotional intelligence is basically, for example, we are in a difficult situation. Okay, but in that case you are not thinking before speaking anything. Okay, so it means like no, whenever you are speaking you just have to analyze the situation first, like no, what is the situation, and considering that you have to analyze the emotion of the others and then you have to speak. Okay, for example, we people are in a classroom. Okay, you feel that no, some students are notorious, okay, or they are not those who want to study. Okay, so really you cannot just ask them that no, shut your mouth and keep silent, or like no, let us study. Okay, that would be really good. So it's better you just ask to the like no, to the authority that if possible just like no, separate us, or it's better if you can bring some like no, monitoring mechanism in the class, so that no, the students who really want to study can study, and those who don't want to, they can like no, try to start being serious. So there is a need that no, you try to understand your emotions along with the emotion of the others. Now, Daniel Goldman is the main personality associated with the EI. Okay, he is associated with the emotional intelligence. So, how emotional intelligence is being regulated, or what are the elements? So, basically, EI is dependent upon the five elements. Okay, there are five elements by which you can see like no, how emotional intelligence goes. So first of all, suppose you are a person who don't believe in emotional therapy. Okay, sometimes we feel no, that this person is really emotionless, she has no emotions, or she don't understand the emotions. So it means like no, faint hearted or something, like the people don't believe in the emotions or something. Okay, so for that you have to be self aware. First of all, you can understand the emotion of the others once you understand your own emotions. For example, if you think that you are a straightforward person and you say something to another person, but don't you think that if anything can hurt you, will hurt the person in front of you as well? Okay, if you don't like something, or like no, if you like a way of talking with you, don't you think that the person in front of you will also like the same? We really can't say that no, if I don't like this, so the front person can also like. All right, so we have to consider the things in a loop. means if I don't like certain things, might be another person don't like. So it means like, no, you should be aware of yourself, and then you should be aware of the another person's emotions. Then if you don't know how to regulate yourself, for example, you are a working professional. Now, on the very first day of your office, your manager gets into some argument with you. Now, it was really the very first day of your office, your manager got in argument. So, it will make you vulnerable there. You would feel like, no, something have happened which is really not fair for you at least. So in that case, at least like, no, your manager should think that, no, this was really the very first day. Everyone is not that perfect. So each and everyone takes some time to understand the thing. So it means he is really not self-aware first of all, because अगर उन्हें पता होता है कि these emotions are really not good for me, तो वो सामने वाले से भी ऐसा behave नहीं करते. Same goes with the self-regulation. That person should have a ability to understand his own emotion, or he should have some control over it. Okay. For example, again, you are leaving for an office, and then on the same day, you got in some dilemma. Now, instead of solving that dilemma took over you. Means you are just making some arguments with your colleagues. You are just shouting at them. Means you are not good at handling your emotions. If you know how to regulate your emotions, you would be definitely not going into the arguments. Rather, you would try to understand, or you would try to pacify the situation rather than dwelling yourself into the arguments. So how it comes? It comes through the internal motivation. Means if you are really committed that, no, in the office I should behave like a professional, if you really try to do it, if you really strive to make it, you would definitely work on your personality. You would think that how I can be resilient enough to deal with the situations. Then comes the empathy. Now, what is empathy? Anyone can tell me over here, what is empathy?
Ma'am, it is an ability, ma'am. It is an ability of one person to understand others' feelings from their point of view.
It means just putting yourself into the shoe of others. Okay, you are just trying to put yourself that, no, for example, if there is a situation which is intense enough. Now, for example, if you are a person, those who think that it's all right, okay, it is happening with others. But if you think that, no, suppose if it might have happened with me, then what would I have done? Okay, so this is empathy. It means you are putting yourself into the shoe of others. You are trying कि अगर ऐसा उसके साथ हुआ है, वैसा ही अगर मेरे साथ होता तो कैसा हो? Okay. So you are making yourself aware for the feeling of others. You are trying to understand their need. You are trying to understand the feelings, and then you are making your POV, point of view. All right, and then social skills. What are social skills? Social skills basically comes from the understanding of the society. Okay, once you try to understand that the people who are living in this society, how they want us to behave or how they are behaving. Okay, and then when we combine empathy and social skills together, comprising the regulation, awareness, all those things, it helps us to boost our emotional intelligence. Okay, so far we have just seen what is the emotional intelligence, what is the definition. You can just pick one definition. I have explained it. Just go through any one definition, finalize it, and try to incorporate it in your answers. Then we have seen the elements. Okay, so what are the elements? So we have the 5 elements over here. Okay, there is one way by which you can remember these keywords. Okay, so this is something we have made for us. You can now remember like this. Okay, so this is arms. This is just a way to remember it. Okay, in case if you people forget the elements, you can remember it this way. Okay, so A stands for self-awareness, R stands for revelation, then internal motivation में M is there, empathy E, and S social skill. Okay, so this is the element part. Now, there are some of the examples which have been given. Alright, there are some of the examples. So for example, this one is a good. Same event can give multiple emotions. Okay, we can be definitely emotionally many times. For example, if you see your name in the sorry, final holy PDF. Okay, if you see your name in the holy PDF finally, see there would be two situations. First, you would be crying. And why you would be crying? You would be just like crying for the past years in which you have worked so hard. Okay, along with the joy of tears of joy. Now why tears of joy? Because finally, at least after working for so many years, after working so hard, you have been able to make it to the finalist. Okay, but suppose in case you don't clear it, okay, and then you just keep on thinking that no, I couldn't clear this in my that attempt, or I couldn't clear this. So this thing will create an emotional baggage, and when you will sit for your next attempt, this entire thing will engulf you, and again you would fail here. So it means this is called as the poor balancing of your emotions. All right. So balancing emotions is really an art, and those who have developed it are better off than those who don't know how to handle the emotions. Okay. So there are of events happening in our life, but it really depends upon us how we are managing our emotion intake. Okay. Now, how EI can help? Okay, any one of you, please give me each and everyone can try to answer some of the things. For example, you are an administrator. Now, how emotionally intelligence, like if you are really strong at your emotional intelligence, how it would help you in the administration? Starting with the ilm.
Ma'am, when any situation comes when like there is actually a crowd who is gathered to against the actions, speaking against something, protesting against any actions taken by the administrations. In order to calm that crowd, you first of all you have to be able to control your own emotions and understand what is their needs and demands, and calm them down and make sure that their needs and everything would be heard. For that, emotional intelligence is needed.
Good example, Elam. Okay, Venkatesh, anything you have to say about this? How emotional intelligence helps you in an administration?
Ma'am, for me, one example. Recently, Tamil Nadu got affected by the flood, so people got emoted due to the loss of a property and showed their anxiousness over the government servants, local level government servants and politicians. In order to settle their calm emotions, administrators should aware about the people's emotions and handle smoothly and make remedy immediately, ma'am.
Exactly. Remedy would help out so that they can pacify the situation. Anyone else want to give any example? Sneha, Aman, Ananya, Nikita?
मैम मैं देना चाहता हूँ एग्जाम्पल।
Yeah, please add Aman.
अब मैम ये इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस को हम लोग मतलब एज ए एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर यूज करते हैं जब लोग प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं, स्पेशली जैसे हो गया रेप विक्टिम्स के अगेंस्ट जस्टिस मांगने के लिए। उस टाइम पे एज ए एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हम इसे यूज कर सकते हैं उनके इमोशंस को पैसिफाई करने के लिए, ताकि जो भी काम है फर्दर है उनको आगे बढ़ा सकें। फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे जो भी प्रोसेस है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव प्रोसेस है, उसमें इस तरह से काम कर सकते हैं। स्पेशली फार्मर प्रोटेस्ट जैसे हुई थी अभी, उन सब में इन सब का काफी इस्तेमाल हुआ था, मतलब इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का इस तरह से कर सकते हैं।
All right, good example. Sneha, anything you want to add?
Ma'am, I would just say that whatever the situation, in case if it's something that would lead to some law and order situation going out of hand, then there are of course two options. If you are also angry and the mob violence kind of a situation is there, then you can either react or you can respond. If you're in control, if you're calm, composed, then you would be able to think 3 4 steps ahead of the situation and try to make it better. Otherwise the situation might not be controlled if you yourself get drifted away in the heat of the moment. So it is very important in case of any untoward situation or any extreme circumstance, like for example mob violence, as Aman rightly said, or in case of certain protests which are happening. So to have very peaceful protests or peaceful management of law and order situation, emotional intelligence would definitely come in handy.
Yeah, that's Neha. And also, like, if you are emotionally strong, instead of hiding behind, okay, instead of hiding behind, you would be standing in the front line and you would try to give your best. For example, like, those who are emotionally strong know how to provide the leadership. They have a strong leadership skills, provided they would see the optimism in the situation. Like, for example, if I have a situation in front of me, now those who would be really bad at handling the emotion would think like, no, if there is any way to just hide in this situation, okay. But those who know, if this thing has like hurt me somewhere, it can hurt you as well. So they would try to come up with the solution. They would try to be like more optimistic rather than being pessimistic, isn't it? Nikita, do you want to add something?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. A common example can be like of natural disasters, such situation like that happened in Uttarkashi, or landslides and other incidents that happen throughout India, like cyclones, earthquakes, and all those. At that point, there are many group of people involved, like local people, the tourist, and VIP guests, and all those people are involved, and even the teams working for evacuation and other things, they also lose hope at that point of time. An emotionally intelligent person can also keep the team motivated and take decisions which will be favorable to all the groups, and also handle the pressure at the same time.
That's good. Now, since you have given the example of the Uttarkashi, same way you have to add the examples in each and every. Like, for example, if you are writing 5 points, so try to at least write 3 examples. Okay, so that it will really make your answer relatable to the examiner. All right. Now let us see what are the points given over here. So first one is the importance of the EI. Okay, so importance, maybe we have seen that you can navigate through the complex situations. Okay, see, these are the basic points, which you have already told me as well. It will help you to develop yourself. And how you will develop yourself? Because if you are emotionally strong, whatever has happened. It cannot be undone. And in that situation, you would take some strong steps that can help to bring some changes in you and can help you to develop more. Okay, so you would be focusing upon the personal growth. Now, optimism, okay, which point, which I was just telling you, okay, and then decision making. You would be strong at the decision making. Instead of hiding, you would be taking the leads, okay. Then conflict would be resoluted. Like, it will help us to resolve the situation, and then it will have less impact on the mental health. Means it will help you to just make your mental health more positive. It would bring you out of your traumatic situations. Okay, so these are some of the basic points which will definitely help you once the question is about the importance of the EI, how it can help you in the personal life. Means now there would be the professional life. Okay, So please tell me now how it would help me in the professional life. Suppose you are a working professional. Okay, you are working in an office. So please tell me how emotionally strong person would be able to survive easily in his professional life. Starting from Nikita or Sneha or anyone, Venkater, Shelam, anyone can answer.
Ma'am, professionally, if you have the ability to say no to certain things, because a lot of times you will know that, something might not be uh, adding in or be in line with your principles of integrity. So you also have to say no, whether it is professional life in terms of corporate life or governance, public private sphere, in all spheres we would need to say no to a lot of things and still hold our ground. So that would lead to better decision making, less wastage of time, as well as less conflicts further on, if we are able to have a clarity of mind as to what our plan of action is to be. So I think that is very important in emotion, where emotional intelligence comes into picture, and we can explain ourselves better to people why we would not adhere to certain things or be pushed by pressure. Sometimes we would also need to hold our ground. So there, in decision making, in our integrity, and in fact even in conflict resolution, it can help. Emotional intelligence can definitely help us.
Sneha, that was really a good explanation. Anyone else want to have any add-on in this?
Ma'am? With regards to the organization, emotional intelligence helps to improve the productivity and efficiency and bring the outcome in a smoother way. As Daniel Goleman said that character matters more than the knowledge what we had. So emotional intelligence is the highest priority to be placed than the knowledge.
That's a very strong point, Venkatesh, and that was really a good point that Daniel Goleman said that no, character matters a lot than your knowledge. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have a knowledge and you are really good at understanding the things. Okay, might be many times what happen, you people have seen that some of the people don't have the mutual understanding. Like, no, they don't really understand your situation or they don't try to understand that situation. But when it comes to them, they want you to try your they like whatever situation they are undergoing. Okay, anyone, anything else want to add?
Madam, so sometimes civil servants tend to become elitist in their orientation. They have certain ideas and opinions, and they try to go in their own path. Sometimes they don't get the chance to understand the people who are numerous with numerous interests. Emotional intelligence helps us to understand their perspective and make them feel that we are in connect with them. So it gives a citizen-centric approach to our decision making and make them feel that social justice is being done and it is seen to be done.
Exactly. How you can add each and every point in your answer. Okay, because like no, see, suppose if they're asking that what is the importance, so in that you have to write only 4 to 5 or like no max to make 6 points. And this is how you can make a single heading. For example, you can just pick optimism. Okay, once you remember the optimism, you would be able to remember entire sentence in your subconscious mind. Okay, so likewise this you have to prepare some of the points. Okay, now let us see what we have in our box. Okay, so they have mentioned some points. For example, like no, if you are a person or if you are a person who is in the administration. Now if you are in administration and you are really good at understanding the emotions, so for example, if any person comes from OBC category to you, or scheduled caste category to you, or scheduled tribe category to you. You will not make any differences there. Okay, you will not discriminate. Rather, if you have a good, if you have a good thought process, you would help them without judging their category. Suppose if any specially able person comes to you for the help, you will not judge him on the basis of his eligibility. Okay, and this is how you would try to help each and every person, and which will help us to target the policies in better way. Because you would know, what would be the impact of my behavior on the simple common janta which is there and to whom you are serving. Okay, then you would be trying to motivate your subordinates. Why so? Because you know how the things are going on, how things may go. So you will try to motivate them. You will be there to cheer them if they do something good. If they are not doing well, you will not punish them. Rather, you will make them understand. Okay, you will change their orientation rather than firing them, rather than just abusing them or talking to them in an odd way. You would be able to handle your stress. Suppose if you are having a bad day at office, definitely once you visit your house, you will not show as if anything has happened at the office. Why so? Because you want to keep your personal life different from the professional life. You will not intermix them. And suppose if anything has happened in your personal life, you will not let the impact at your professional level. Why so? Because again, you are good at handling the emotion, and you will keep your things personally and professionally separate. Okay, you will not let them cross each other's boundary. Okay, then you will be doing something for change. It will help you in decision making. There would be better communication. Okay, and these are some of the points which they have given. Again, I would say the point have a relevance, but until unless you add the solutions or you add some of the real life examples, it will not make any sense to me and to anyone. Okay, so try to as many as examples you can add. This is a good paragraph. Okay, and that is why it is here. So you can see that a bureaucrat has to deal with many things at public level, at your personal level. Okay, and then in a day there will be a law and order situation. There would be conflict of interest. There would be something called as nepotism and nepotism. Okay, they will try to use you, or they if any one of you is aware of the chacha bhatija politics. Okay, chacha bhatija politics is there, which shows the nepotism. Okay, how your family, for example, if anyone is there in your family who is the public figure, and they will try to influence the decision of the politicians, or they will try to influence the decision of the bureaucrats. Okay, so this is called as the that kind of policy. But if you are really a person who is noble, who is ethical in his or her behavior, they will definitely not let the impact over you. Okay, and this is how this topic is really important. Some of the glimpses have been added here. Now, how you can improve your emotional intelligence? Okay, some of you, please tell me what are the ways, how you can improve your own emotional intelligence.
By having more interactive governance model, we should interact with our peers and also the public as frequently as possible, so that we properly understand their emotions and their needs and the situation more accurately than seeing from the office.
The solution to improve the emotional intelligence. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other solution? One can be improving the work culture. For example, in an office where you are working, if all the colleagues, all the manager, director, or worker, or whatever persons are there are kind of collaborative in nature, and they are coordinative even, the emotional intelligence will be strong. Why so? Because each and everyone learn from everyone. Alright, now let us see some of the points. For example, if the incentives are there for the desired behavior. Okay, and this one is a good point which I found that after a long time, after a long time, you have been in a depressed situation. Once you try to work upon your emotions through meditation or yoga or any kind of therapy, okay, mental therapy sessions are there nowadays, like the training sessions which all the once you are in the civil services and you would be the under training, okay, so there would be training for that as well, where they would be working upon your psychology, they would be working upon your mental process, thinking process, okay, each and everything. So that also helps. Okay, even meditation is the biggest source of the emotional intelligence. It helps. Now, after that, you can also think upon evaluation. You can evaluate yourself. You can improve your empathy. Once you are empathetic, you would see that no, your emotions are being taken care by yourself. Okay, you can try to analyze others, you can try to analyze yourself. Then other things which can be done is just to ensure that whatever you are doing will have a good or bad impact on others. So in that way also you can fashion your emotions. All right. Now, proper formulation and implementation of policies. Even if you have seen, in many offices, there is, some of the sessions, there are verbal sessions, there are some kind of the training sessions which are being conducted, or we have recreational space activities, okay, which definitely help us to understand the office management better, and they can understand us as well. So that also help us to boost our emotional intelligence. Okay, and then what you can do is you can just for example, this is a instance here. For example, you are a bureaucrat, okay, and you have to work on an hydro project. Now, if you get swayed about by the emotion of the businessman, for example, if a businessman comes to you, he says that no, I want the clearance of this project. Now, there are two things. Either तो वो जो project होगा that would be legal, okay, they want the clearance, वो legal होगा. And another situation can be they are just trying to bribing you. They are putting you under the risk that we will pay some money and please give a clearance. Now, if you get swayed by the emotion of the businessman that you think here I would be making some money, or let us just let me bring the example of the dishonesty, you would get swayed and you would bribe. But if you are a person who knows that no, this is a time where you have to depict the best foundational value, you would be honest enough. You will not dwell yourself into the corruption. And how it comes? It comes once you have a good thought process. You are really good at handling the emotions. This is how you have to give the examples. And here you could have added the example of the Narmada project. Okay, so examples are something which are must. Okay, Narmada project you can add. Something sort of this have happened with the Narmada project, and that is why it was under the suspicion. Okay, so you can add it. And then we have discussed some kind of the things, for example, if you are a person, for example, you might have seen that in some administration, in some offices, if you give your problem to someone, okay, for example, there is an authority जहाँ पे आप अपनी problems को share कर सकते हैं. Now, once you drop a message to them, they will either not see it or either they will not respond to you for a long period of time. Okay, but there is one authority जिनको आप जब भी message डालते, they are always available at your disposal. So what it shows कि जो आपको they are जो लोग आपके लिए available है, it means they are emotionally strong. They know कि अगर हमें भी late reply मिलेगा तो how would we feel? Okay, so this is something that you are showing, you are depicting the leadership skills that we can help you to go in the right direction. Okay, these are some of the examples. These are some of the ways by which you can help yourself to enhance your emotional intelligence. Now, for example, physical and mental environment and should be able to take the best decision for the public good. Here comes one more example of the PDS. Okay, now in PDS, we know that when we talk about the PDS, there are so many cases of the ghost identity, there are ghost identification or ghost cards are being issued. Okay, but if administration will not take care of this, okay, then it will definitely bring the corruption, and because of that only we have the one nation, one ration card policy. Okay, we have so many things by the one nation now, so there is one nation, one ration. Okay, and emotional intelligence person will help in the best public service delivery, and this PDS is the example for the same. Okay, and this was almost things have been covered in this regarding the EI session. Now what you can do is those who would be writing their test on 28th December, just go through the module once, try to understand the things, and if you have any source which you have prepared already, so you can go through it. Okay, this class was just to brush up your concepts. Okay, so I hope the things are being revised now. What you can do is just go through your own sources and prepare best for the test. All right, and there would be around 3 to 5 or 4 questions as per the topic. Let us see how many questions comes there. Okay, so you have the आज का दिन है, you can prepare today and tomorrow, and on 28th in the morning session, might be at 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. around, you would be having the test. Am I clear? Okay, please prepare for the test so that if you are doing good, we can move to the next topic. Else if anything would be left on your part, I will make you revise. Okay, so prepare best, and tomorrow is the day when you can revise your entire emotional intelligence, and on 28th we will meet for the test. Okay, and we can conclude the session now. And if you have anyone of you have any doubt regarding the EEMP and Ethics Mentorship Program, you people can connect with the support team or whatever you feel like. Okay, and now I think we can conclude the session, at least this one.